This is a theme of tremendous importance for us, particularly for us in Telangana government. As many of you would be aware, when the new state of Telangana came into being 4 years ago, we made a very prominent announcement. We took a very conscious decision that this will be a state which will welcome startups, which will welcome entrepreneurs, which will encourage them, which will design policies, which will help them do their businesses effectively, efficiently, successfully. And in the last 4 years, we have done quite a number of things. But we are always conscious of the fact that if this momentum has to go forward, we do require a strong pipeline, a supply pipeline, because startups won't emerge overnight unless you train them, you orient them over a period of time. The pipeline will run dry at some point in time, and this claim that we want to make of being the startup state of the country, the startup capital of India, these will only be tall claims. These will not be actually backed by ground realities. So therefore this topic on how do you really foster, how do you really encourage a culture of entrepreneurship, a culture of innovation right from college days in engineering campuses, this is of tremendous value to us. Most of you would be aware that there have been some of the global startup poster boys, people like, let us say, Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. They all actually left colleges. They were admitted into some of the best colleges in the world. Zuckerberg was in Harvard, Bill Gates was also, I guess, in Harvard, Steve Jobs was in Stanford, but they felt that the college education is coming in the way of what really they wanted to achieve. They had a vision that they have an idea in mind which can really conquer the world, and they felt that instead of wasting time in attending classes and writing exams, they'll be better off in working on their own ideas. And today we see that they have created products which have taken over the world. In fact, all of us use their creations, their inventions in some way or the other, practically every waking hour of the day. So, and another very important global trend is that when we visit any incubator, for example, T-Hub is very close by. When we visit an incubator like the T-Hub, we find that the startups are actually becoming younger and younger. In fact, a few months ago, I was attending a startup event in Bangalore, and I was introduced to one person who became the CEO of his company at 14 years of age. And this was a real company. It was not a fiction which was created by his father to amuse him or something. It was an actual company with a balance sheet, with employees, with a line of activity. And he was the CEO of that company at 14 years. So of course he was exceptional, but the fact is that a large number of people are taking to entrepreneurship at a very young age because they are realizing that there are opportunities, much better opportunities and more satisfying way of leading your life if you work for yourself rather than joining the rat race, getting into a job, trying to develop a career and so on and so forth. In fact, campus placement data also in India, US, elsewhere, that also shows this very important trend. I try to get this data, I don't have exact numbers, but someone was telling me, one of the principals of a very important engineering college in Hyderabad, he was telling me that 20 years ago, if you looked at the profile of the outgoing batch, let us say 100 students were passing the final year, roughly around 50% would opt for campus placement. They will join a job. 30% will go abroad. They will try to get into the MS program or MBA program. They will typically go to the US. And the remaining 20%, some of them will appear in civil services exams. Some of them will remain in the college or go to the university to do this MTech. And a handful of them, because they had some family businesses, their parents were running some business activities, they will go back and start assisting their parents. This was the profile 20 years ago. And he was telling me that the profile has completely altered. Now the scenario is that this campus placement figure from 50% actually has come down to almost around 30%. And of course, the number of people who are going abroad has come down slightly, not that much. Maybe from 30% it has come down to 25%. But these other things, people who are joining the civil services or taking up higher education, etc. That number has come down very, very drastically, and almost now in the entire batch there will be 1/3 students who will try to start their own thing. They will become startup founders, they will join some existing startups instead of getting into a conventional corporate kind of placement program. So this is a trend which is going to grow in the future, but we have to ensure that this pipeline is endowed with quality. Typically in Hyderabad, I get invitations to visit lots of engineering colleges. Sometimes they call me for their annual day, for one of these some college events and all. And typically when I go to that college, they also show me around that this is our classroom, this is the building, these are our labs. And in that walkthrough, they occasionally show me, I come across a door, a room which says E-cell. There will be a board on the door which will say E-cell or EDC or something, and the door will be typically locked. And no one will be able to explain what happens behind that locked door. There is just a door with a signboard, but nothing happens there. I mean, it is just a sign. Maybe UGC says that if you have a sign of that kind, you get some grant or something. So it is just to satisfy some AICT norms or UGC norms that a board is put. But we want to change all that. In fact, we for the last 1 year, we have been working very seriously on this along with the State Council for Higher Education. The Telangana government and the State Council for Higher Education actually wants to change all that. We want all the colleges to have functional e-cells or entrepreneurship cells, and some faculty member who are extremely knowledgeable about how to foster entrepreneurship. The cell will only become active if there is some person driving that cell, and we want to create as many talented people as possible in these institutions. And we have seen some very, very successful experiments in the last couple of years. In fact, for engineering colleges, one immediate opportunity, a kind of a low-hanging fruit, comes in the form of the projects that students are required to do in their third year. As you know, most of the engineering students have to do a college project. And this also, I was told again, I don't have solid evidence, but again people used to tell me that there would be extreme non-seriousness about these college projects. Students know that this is just a course, you have to get some 35 marks to pass that course. They will just prepare something, they will submit something. The faculty also will be extremely equally non-serious, they will just grade something. And again, some people were telling me, I wish that is not true, but if it is true, it is again a matter of great sadness. What they told me was that outside some colleges, actually these reports will be sold. You can pay 1,000 rupees, get a report, you can put your name and submit the same. So lots of, the point I want to make is that there is a strong level of disinterest and non-seriousness about the student projects. So we have tried to try out something very innovative. This is called the Technology Entrepreneurship Program, TEP. We do it in conjunction with ISB, Indian School of Business. We select 200 students from different colleges. Typically these are not the top colleges, these are third tier, fourth tier colleges, but our belief is that even in these lower level colleges, there are bright students, and if you guide them well, they can really deliver. So typically we identify 200 such students. The identification is done by another institution of ours, which is called TASK, the Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge. And these students are asked to convert their engineering project into a proper business plan. So whatever project they choose to do in their third year, the ISB faculty guides them in how that can be converted into a business plan. And 2 batches have graduated so far. I was present in the graduation ceremony of the first batch, and some of the presentations that the students made, they were amazing. They were very, very remarkable, and they were really good ideas with some refinement, with some polish. They could potentially do very well commercially as well. So this is an opportunity of helping students work on a project with sincerity, convert it into a business plan, see how it can be converted into a commercially successful product or a service. And if the colleges start doing that, definitely many of the students will realize that entrepreneurship is something which is doable, which is achievable. The challenge we face today is that despite Startup India program or Startup Telangana program, entrepreneurship still has not been mainstreamed in the way that we would wish to. We know of many social contexts in which the family support, the peer support, the social support is not that much there for the entrepreneurs. Many entrepreneurs, I meet quite a few of them at the T Hub. They not exactly at the T Hub, but in some other incubators, some co-working spaces. I find lots of people who feel that if they tell outside that they are working as an entrepreneur or they're in an incubator, they're trying out some idea, the general feeling will be that perhaps he was not good at a job, maybe he is a failure at his employment or at his career, and therefore he has moved out or he has been thrown out of his job, and therefore he is trying something on his own. So social acceptance is, of course, this is changing quite rapidly and also quite dramatically, which is good, but still that the fact that social acceptance takes a while, and for an entrepreneur for a long time this is a very lonely journey. He has to really struggle with his ideas, with his product, getting into the market, particularly in a competitive country like India it has its own challenges despite well-intentioned policies, etc. So if very early stage guidance is given to the students from their campus days, definitely the pipeline will be bright, the pipeline will be copious, and we will be getting lots of good quality stuff. And in our innovation policy, we also have a component which we have not been able to operationalize so far, but we are discussing with the universities and the Council for Higher Education of giving credits to the students who join an incubator or a co-working space. If they want to, if they are continuing their education, then they can leave some courses. Suppose you have to do, let us say, 10 courses. If they have joined an incubator, they can do only 7 courses, and for 3 courses they will be given credit for the startup work that they are doing. Many other countries, including the US, and we are trying it out in Telangana for the first time in the country. So hopefully if our discussions with the Council for Higher Education and the university succeed, we may see this getting introduced from the next academic year. And this is something which will help a large number of students. As I said, people like Gates and Jobs and Zuckerberg had to leave college. But if you are given this facility that you can remain in college, some of your workload can be minimized and you can continue to do your startup work in an incubator or a co-working space. You can balance both these things, because eventually, as other speakers pointed out, there is no guarantee of success in a startup enterprise. And at any point in time, if you want to get back into the job market, a degree, a college degree, a university degree will always be of use to you. So we don't want anyone to lose that chance and get back into the workforce. So as I said, this consciousness about creating a pipeline of quality through the engineering colleges is one of the high priorities for the government. As I said, we are working with the State Council for Higher Education and the universities. But I would like to invite SKI as well, Engineering Staff College of India as well, to join hands with us, because the very fact that you are organizing this seminar on this particular topic, and the fact that you have invited distinguished speakers from overseas who teach entrepreneurship, who conduct these kind of programs for students, shows the kind of seriousness and the kind of importance you give to this topic. And if you want really to go one step further and make a long-term commitment of supporting the state government in this endeavor, then we'll be absolutely happy to partner with you. So once again, I know that almost 90% of the audience are from engineering colleges who run entrepreneurship programs, who are administrators there. So please start accepting this reality that in days to come, the reliance on campus placement, formal jobs will be going down, and if your students need to become successful startup founders and successful entrepreneurs, that seed needs to be shown from the college days itself. So please use this time to interact with other speakers who have experience of doing so. We have international speakers as well who will be sharing lots of global best practices, and we do hope that collectively we will bring a major significant change in the colleges of Telangana. So good wishes to all of you. Thank you very much.